I know it hurts right now, but we're gonna heal. We have each other.
The rain hammered the church roof like accusations from an unforgiving sky. Each drop a reminder the family Alex had just lost forever. At 35, he'd finally mustered the courage to stand before his parents and siblings, voice trembling as he confessed the truth he'd buried for decades. He was gay. But instead of arms opening wide, doors slammed shut, his father's red-faced rage, his mother's silent tears turning to venomous words that cut deeper than any blade. "You're no son of ours. Don't come back." In that single shattering moment, Alex Thompson felt the world crumble, his heart a hollow echo in a vast, indifferent sprawl of Seattle's gray dawn. He stumbled out into the storm, soaked to the bone, the weight of rejection pressing like an iron yoke. No calls, no texts, just the cold buzz of his phone dying in his pocket, mirroring the life he'd known. But as thunder cracked overhead, a defiant spark ignited in his chest. If blood couldn't claim him, he'd forge his own family, one built not on secrets, but on fierce, unyielding love. Little did he know, that spark would lead him to the forgotten corners of the foster system, where society's outcasts mirrored his own hidden scars. Alex wiped the rain from his eyes and flagged down a cab. The driver's sympathetic glance, the first kindness he'd felt in hours. "Where to?" "Buddy," the man asked, voice gravelly with concern. "Somewhere I can start over," Alex muttered, directing him toward the bustling heart of the city, where social services offices hummed with the quiet desperation of second chances. By morning, he'd filed the paperwork. His social work degree, a passion born from his own childhood neglect, now the lifeline. He'd always advocated for the voiceless kids shuffled through the system like unwanted parcels. But fostering? That was personal now, a rebellion against the rejection that had stripped him bare. Weeks blurred into a haze of interviews and home visits. The sterile fluorescent lights of the agency, a stark contrast to the warmth he craved. Caseworkers eyed him warily at first. A single gay man in his 30s? Unconventional. They whispered behind clipboards. But Alex's credentials shone. Years counseling at-risk youth. A spotless record. A cozy 2-bedroom apartment in Capitol Hill that he'd transformed with thrift store finds and fresh paint. "You're stable," his supervisor, Maria, finally conceded, her sharp Latina features softening. "And those kids out there, they need stable more than anything." The call came on a crisp autumn afternoon, the kind where Seattle's evergreens whispered promises of renewal. 2 siblings. Emergency placement. Timmy and Sarah, ages 8 and 10, bounced from home to home like pinballs in a rigged game. Their file was a litany of heartbreak, parents lost to addiction, relatives too burdened or ashamed to step up, labels slapped on like scarlet letters: troubled, unadoptable, too old. Alex's pulse raced as he scanned the photos. Timmy's haunted stare, Sarah's defiant chin. These were kids the world had already written off, mirrors to his own orphaned soul. He arrived at the agency pickup in his reliable old Subaru, heart pounding like a war drum. There they were, huddled in plastic chairs, backpacks clutched like shields. Sarah, with her wild curls escaping a hasty ponytail and a dress that hung loose from too many skipped meals, locked eyes with him first, wary, assessing, a street-smart shield over her vulnerability. Timmy peeked from behind her, his small frame swallowed by an oversized jacket, fingers twisting the hem in silent terror. "You the new guy?" Sarah asked, voice laced with skepticism that belied her years. Alex crouched to their level, forcing a smile that felt genuine for the first time in months. I'm Alex. And yeah, I'm the guy who's going to make sure you get pancakes for dinner tonight, if you're into that. A flicker crossed Sarah's face. Not quite trust, but curiosity. Timmy just nodded, eyes darting like a cornered animal. As they piled into the car, the silence was thick, broken only by the wiper's rhythmic swish. Alex stole glances in the rear view, wondering if he was crazy for thinking he could mend what the world had broken. Home was a revelation. The apartment, with its sun-dappled walls and shelves groaning under dog-eared books, smelled of fresh-baked cookies he'd whipped up that morning, a peace offering from survival shows. Sarah prowled like a cat in new territory, poking at the plush couch, the framed prints of starry nights he'd hung to chase away his own loneliness. Timmy clung to her shadow, but when Alex offered a tour, pointing out the backyard swing set he'd assembled last weekend, the boy's eyes widened fractionally. It's real, Timmy whispered, as if expecting the ground to vanish. That first night unfolded in fits and starts. Dinner was spaghetti, sauce splattered like abstract art, Sarah quizzing him relentlessly. Why do you take us? You got a wife? Kids already? Alex met her gaze steadily. Fort paused midair. No wife. No kids yet. But I wanted a family, the kind that chooses each other. He didn't mention the rejection, the raw wound still festering. But Sarah's sharp intuition caught the undercurrent. Adults always lie, she muttered, but shoveled in another bite anyway. Bedtime was the real battlefield. Timmy whimpered through nightmares, thrashing against ghosts Alex couldn't fight. Sarah bolted upright at every creak, knife from the kitchen drawer hidden under her pillow, a habit from streets that taught survival over sleep. Alex sat vigil in the hallway, whispering stories through cracked doors until his voice grew hoarse. Once upon a time, he'd begin, weaving tales of lost boys who found kingdoms in unlikely places. There was a kid who thought he was alone, but stars have a way of guiding you home. Dawn brought fragile progress. Over cereal bowls sticky with milk, Sarah sketched on a napkin a wonky house with 3 stick figures. One labeled A. Timmy colored a dinosaur fierce and green, sliding it across the table with a mumbled for you. Alex's throat tightened, the simple acts piercing like arrows of hope. But outside these walls, the world lurked, judgmental and unyielding. A neighbor's curtain twitch, a playground stare, reminders that love like his was still suspect in quiet neighborhoods. As days stretched into weeks, routines took root like stubborn weeds in cracked concrete. School drop-offs became rituals, Sarah's backpack slung high, Timmy's hand slipping into Alex's without prompting. He navigated parent-teacher conferences with a father's poise, advocating for Sarah's skipped grades and Timmy's speech delays. His social worker savvy turning skeptics into allies. Evenings were for chaos, homework wars won with bribes of ice cream. Board games where laughter edged out awkward silences. Yet shadows clung. Timmy's bedwetting episodes soaked sheets like unspoken fears. Sarah's outbursts at the grocery store drawing pitying glances. They're testing you, Maria warned over coffee at the agency, her eyes kind but knowing. Kids like them? They've been burned. Alex nodded. But inside? Doubt not. Was he enough? The gay man cast out, now playing house with society's rejects. Could fractured pieces form a whole? One stormy Tuesday, the dam broke. Sarah, fresh from a playground shove fest, hurled accusations like grenades. You're just like them, taking us until something better comes along. Then you'll dump us too. Tears streaked her face. Fist balled. Timmy wailed from the corner, caught in the crossfire. Alex knelt, heart splintering, and pulled her close despite the flailing limbs. I'm not going anywhere, he vowed, voice cracking. I know what it's like to be thrown away. My own family. They couldn't handle who I am. But you're my choice. Every day, she stilled, sobs hitching, then collapsed against him, the fight draining like rain into gutters. That night, as thunder rolled, they piled into Alex's bed, a tangle of limbs and whispered confessions. Sarah admitted the hunger pangs from foster homes with empty fridges. Timmy confessed dreams where monsters wore his mother's face. Alex shared fragments of his truth. The boy who'd hidden crushes in locker room glances. The man who danced in secret clubs under strobe lights, only to wake to isolation. Vulnerability bridged the chasm, forging tentative threads of trust. But life in Seattle's foster labyrinth demanded more than heart. Bureaucracy loomed like storm clouds, court dates, evaluations, the endless shuffle of case files. Alex juggled his part-time counseling gig, poring over adoption laws by lamplight while the kids slept. Whispers from extended family, his sister's pitying emails, his brother's radio silence stung like salt in wounds. And then there was the loneliness, a quiet ache that bloomed in stolen moments, reminding him of desires deferred for duty. Enter Jordan. It started innocently enough, at a foster parent support group in a community center basement, the air thick with coffee and commiseration. Jordan Hayes, 38, broad-shouldered with a sailor's easy grin and salt and pepper hair cropped close, commanded the circle without trying. A former Navy vet turned mechanic. He wore grease-stained overalls unapologetically, his laugh a rumble that cut through the gloom. Divorced, straight as an arrow, or so Alex assumed, Jordan shared tales of his own foster stint, a teenage nephew's rough patch that had cracked him open. Their eyes met across folding chairs, a spark neither acknowledged at first. New blood, Jordan asked post-meeting, clapping Alex on the back with a warmth that lingered. Yeah, diving in head first, Alex replied, pulse quickening at the calloused hand, the faint scent of motor oil and pine. Conversations flowed like rivers unbound, parenting hacks, Seattle's hidden hikes, the absurdity of bedtime battles. Jordan's stories carried a rugged poetry, his vulnerability peeking through tales of deployments and homecomings to empty arms. Weeks in, a flat tire stranded Alex at the shop on a frantic school-run morning. Jordan rolled out from under a truck, wiping hands on a rag, that grin flashing like sunlight. Fancy seeing you here. Let me fix you up, no charge for heroes, over lukewarm vending machine sodas. Barriers thinned. Jordan confessed the divorce's toll, the ex who couldn't bridge his worlds. Alex, emboldened by the kid's growing ease, let slip his orientation, not a declaration, but a quiet truth. Jordan paused, then nodded. Doesn't change a damn thing. You're raising warriors out there. The flirtation simmered subtle. A brush of fingers over toolboxes, lingering glances at pickups. Alex wrestled with it. Could he risk complication for the kids? But Jordan's steadiness, his easy acceptance, chipped at walls long fortified. One evening, after a group hike where Timmy beamed at summits conquered and Sarah collected wildflowers like treasures, Jordan hung back. "You're good at this, Alex. The dad thing. Hell, the everything thing." Their hands touched on the trail. Electric, unspoken promises in the rustle of leaves. Back home, the kids sensed the shift, their intuition sharper than any radar. Sarah grilled him over pizza. "Who's the big guy?" "He like you." Timmy giggled. Sauce smeared. Alex flushed, but honesty won. "Maybe. But only if it feels right for us." Their nods were solemn. A family's vote cast. Prejudice reared its head unbidden. At Timmy's school play, a ragtag nutcracker with recycled costumes, a parent's mutter slithered through the auditorium. "That one's got two dads now? What's this world coming to?" Alex froze mid-clap, Sarah's small hand squeezing his. Jordan, beside him, leaned in, "Ignore the noise. We're louder." His presence became anchor. Dates woven into family fabric. Picnics where Jordan taught Timmy to skip stones. Museum jaunts where Sarah debated art with him like equals. Yet tension coiled tighter. The adoption hearing loomed. A bureaucratic gauntlet where judges weighed stability like scales of fate. Whispers from conservative corners amplified, articles decrying non-traditional homes. Online trolls dredging Alex's coming-out scandal from small-town archives. One night, after a scathing voicemail from his father, "You're corrupting those innocents," Alex shattered a mug against the sink, shards scattering like his resolve. Jordan found him there, knuckles white. "Hey," he murmured, pulling him close, the embrace solid as oak. "You're not alone in this fight." Lips met tentative, then fierce, a kiss tasting of fear and fire. Years of restraint unraveling in the kitchen's dim glow. It was messy, real, the kind of passion that healed as it hurt. "I love you," Jordan breathed later, tangled in sheets while kids dreamed down the hall. "All of you, the fierce, the flawed, the family." The climax crashed like Pacific waves. Court day dawned under bruised skies. The courtroom a sterile arena of polished wood and averted eyes. Sarah and Timmy, scrubbed and solemn in their Sunday best, flanked Alex, Jordan a steadfast shadow in the gallery. The judge, a stern woman with wire-rimmed glasses, flipped through files, her voice measured. Concerns have been raised regarding Mr. Thompson's lifestyle. Can you assure this court these children will thrive? Alex rose, voice steady as forged steel. Your Honor, I was rejected for loving who I love. Cast out, labeled unfit. But look at them. He gestured to the kids. Sarah's chin high, Timmy's hand in hers. We've built a home from scraps, laughter over burnt toast, stories that chase nightmares, love that doesn't flinch. My orientation isn't a flaw. It's the heart that chose them when no one else would. Judge us by that. Testimonies poured forth, teachers praising leaps in grades, neighbors attesting to midnight snowball fights and holiday lights that rivaled the block. Jordan's words sealed it, raw and resonant. Alex isn't just a father, he's a force. He mends what's broken, including me. The gavel fell like benediction, approved. Custody granted. Path to adoption cleared. Cheers erupted soft, tears flowing free. Outside, under clearing skies, they piled into the car, rainbows arching faint promises. Sarah hooped. Timmy beamed. Jordan's arm around Alex, a vow etched in touch. In that moment, rejection's echo faded, drowned by the symphony of chosen kin. Months later, the adoption party spilled onto the lawn, balloons bobbing like dreams unbound. Cake smeared on grinning faces. Alex watched Jordan chase Timmy through sprinklers, Sarah directing the chaos with bossy glee. His family, hard-won and whole. The boy once cast adrift had anchored a fleet, proving love's quiet revolution. It doesn't demand perfection, only persistence. In the hush of twilight, as stars pricked the velvet sky, Alex pulled Jordan aside. "We did it," he whispered, foreheads touching. "Yeah," Jordan replied, eyes shining. "And we're just getting started." Hands intertwined, they rejoined the fray. Hearts full, horizons vast, a testament to resilience, to love that defies the dark.